Yeah, hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my new tutorial. After kind of a long summer break, we finally will have a look at a new CSS property. It's actually not new at all, it's already kind of a long time in the CSS world, but it's really useful in some cases. It's really good supported in a lot of browsers, and yeah, it's just good to have a kind of a knowledge about this property. It's called the CSS Gradient property. So with that you can kind of make some great gradient effects on your website just with some basic CSS lines, and we will have a look at it just like always with CSBin. So we make some kind of a learning by doing, and I will show you as an example now what you can do with this property. Let's make some kind of a basic HTML structure. So we will make a div container here, and in this div container we will just put some, let's say, 4 other divs to play around with. So just make some copy paste. So voila, here it is. Give them some individual IDs, selectors, so 1, 2, 3, and the last one 4. So voila, that's already all about it when it's about HTML. So let's switch to the CSS column here and just define that the divs in the main container shall have kind of a some kind of specific dimension. So a height of, let's say, 210 pixels, a width of, let's say, make it a bit larger so it's not equal 400 pixels, and let's make some margin between them, like 10 pixels. That should be enough. Okay, so let's start now with the first container. Just let it appear with some basic background like we know it already. Let's make the background red. So here our container is appearing. So what about the situations that you don't just want to have just like one background here with a red color, but you want to have 2, 3 or 4 colors in this background, and between these colors shall be kind of a gradient. So it's like smoothly fading from one side to the other, or from up to down, from left to right. So for that we are having a CSS property, or better CSS value, because the property is just like the CSS background images as we already know it from the past tutorials. And now we are not defining like a file where normally we would do like now here URL and define here some kind of an URL address where a picture, a JPEG or a PNG picture is lying. So we will define now some colors in this dimension here. So we will make the first example very easy with a linear gradient. So this is a function where the magic actually happens, and you can say now here green and red. So yeah, voila, nothing is happening here. Why? Actually because it's of course called background image. So after this long summer I forgot that. Excuse me. So now you see we are having green to red fading here from up to down. So that's fun already. And of course you can really customize it as far as you like. So you can, for example, as the first argument give here, I want to have the fading from for example left to right. So you see now it's going from left green to right side red. And you can make this to top from green to red, and bottom as we already had it, like custom as a standard value, and of course the other side as well, so green to left to red. And you see it actually doesn't matter in which direction, in which position which color is standing, as long as you define it here in the beginning at the position. And of course you can make some kind of as well diagonal effects here, so to bottom left, for example. So now it's like going the green to the left bottom to red, and to top left and to top right, and so on and so on. So let's make this now to right again and have a look a bit on this area here where the fading is happening. So you can define by stop color, which you can put here after the colors, give some value, how this looks actually, how sharp or smooth this fading shall be. So for example, if you would say I want to have actually kind of a big red area and just a small green area, you can say red shall start already 10%. So you see now at 10% of this whole box here, so it's like 40 pixels, that is 400 pixels in all, in sum, already the red is starting. And you can give here some values of 30%, 40, 50, 80, 70, and you see it's getting smaller and smaller, and you have a lot of control here now to manipulate this effect here. So the stop color you just put behind your defined color. If you're giving both colors an equal stop color, so for example 50% and 50%, you're having like a sharp line here, because at 50% this is starting and this is ending. And of course you can do this as well with lower values, so like 10% already you're starting the red with a really sharp fade. So let's have a look at the second container here. So 2, and here it's getting really funny actually. Just have a word, I just want to tell you something about this background red now here. So if there are some really old browsers, you can always write the background property here and give it a value to have some kind of a fallback for all the browsers. You see, now it's actually ignored by the CSS parser. He's just looking at the background image here. But if this is not supported, he will just use this property value pair here. So let's go to the next example. We are making again a background image and a linear background gradient like we had it. And I will show you that you can as well use some RGBA or HSLA functions here, as we had it already in some older tutorial. So this time we are just using the RGBA, because with that you can use opacity or transparency in the gradient function. So let's say we are having two RGBA functions, and I say the first doesn't matter actually what is staying here, because we will make it fully transparent. So especially this last number here is important now. So this is the red value, green value, blue value, and here is the opacity. The second one we will give like a red color, so we make 255 for the first, so the second and third shall be 0, and the last, so the opacity 1, so the full opacity, and this means like you are having now here a gradient going from red to transparent. So it's not white here, of course this is not the best to show, but this is like a transparent area here. So this is very useful for some kind of effects you want to have on your web page when, for example, you're having kind of a background image here or something, and you just from the bottom want to fade it a bit out or something with kind of a color here. Yeah, and let's have a look at the third container and the possibility of circles and ellipses in gradients. So radial gradients. So let's make background image and say radial gradient, and let's say we want to have a radial gradient going from blue to yellow. So voila, here now we have our radial gradient. You see, you can define here how it shall look like, as the container is not an equal side, it doesn't have equal sides. Here's like kind of an ellipse, and you can say as well you want to have a circle, and so here you have a proper circle now. Just define it here at the beginning, so standard is like ellipse, so this value here. So like with a linear gradient, as well with a radial gradient, you can give some kind of stop color value here. So again, you can say give the yellow part shall start already at 10% after the blue starts. So you see all the area is now actually yellow, and you can give it here some larger values to change this. Actually here now is a lot of blue, and the real yellow starts just at the end here, actually at 90%. The rest is still fading, so we have a huge fading area. Here we have a small fading area because all the rest shall be yellow. So this is functioning like actually the above linear gradient stop color. And with the radial gradient as well, you can give this circle here a position. So let's make it standard again, blue to yellow, and let's say here now for the position circle top at right. Oh no, actually that's a wrong order. So circle at, so let's say top right side. So you see now the circle is here at the top right side. If you say now again the yellow, a huge part of it, you see it much better. So the circle starts here, you can say top left or bottom left, or you can just leave it empty as you see, and it's like in the center starting. So really useful and quite flexible as well. So yeah, actually we don't need the fourth container because I showed you everything already in the third one with the radial gradient. Of course you can do a lot more things with it, but as always in this tutorial I just wanted to give you kind of a glimpse how is it working, what you can do with it in the beginning. And if you want to have some deeper insight in this gradient topic, I will give you some links as always, and you can have a look there and yeah, dig in it like the whole night as ever you want. It's really interesting, it's really useful, and have fun with CSS Gradients. Good night.